Laura Feldman. Today is 6:25, June 25th, 2014. The time is 2:17 p.m. and I am speaking with Donita.
My name's Donita Sufra. I'm an enrolled member of the Shoshone-Bannock Tribes of Fort Hall, Idaho.
Wonderful. How long have you lived in Oregon?
I moved here in almost just barely over a year ago. 10 years ago in 2004, June of 2004.
Mm-hmm. And let's see. What is the, I'm kind of confused here. Well, this will be edited, but so, interesting. What is your occupation?
I'm a community organizer and a cultural advocate for the Portland urban Native American population. I'm employed to coordinate the work of Portland Youth and Elders Council, which is a grassroots advocacy group housed at the Native American Youth and Family Center.
Okay, great. And what is your relationship with the river?
I grew up with the cultural teachings that water is a sacred medicine, that it's a life-giving force, and I've always been on the water. I raised my kids living on the North Fork of the Lewis River in Clark County. I've canoed, I swim, I kayak, I fish. I love the water. I find it very serene. I love to camp near it. If you're asking about the Superfund,
the Willamette River. Yeah, but it's good to know about your relationship with water, but also what your connection is with the Willamette.
Yeah, so I have always steered pretty clear of the Willamette here in Portland because moving here I was informed that it was polluted and not a very healthy place, a safe place to recreate. But I do ride my bike along the Willamette River and know friends who have a deeper relationship. I'm also involved with the Canoe Journey Project, and we've had landings and launching of our canoe families at Cathedral Park. And I became involved with advocating about the Superfund site cleanup nearly 3.5 years ago, I believe, feeling that as a tribal person, I know the impacts of having a Superfund site on my own reservation, the Fort Hall Reservation in southern Idaho, around phosphorus cleanup, and I know that because of our sacred relationship to our lands and our environmental resources, that there's no cleanup effort that's satisfactory, and it's a shame that we have to post-colonization, when colonization came into our homelands and changed the way that we have done business without having any invitation or input from Native communities on many of the practices that have caused these Superfund sites around our nation. It's very harmful to us as a people, and the mitigation process is not adequate from a tribal perspective. And so hearing about the Superfund site, which I first heard about it from Mayor Sam Adams some years ago, he met with our Portland Indian Leaders Roundtable and wanted to know how to strengthen relationships around the treaty rights that are observed in the Superfund site here in Portland. So I've had varying shades of gray of involvement with it.
Mm-hmm. How does the Healing the Canoe Journey project, how is that going to contribute to the health of the river, do you think?
Well, Native people in general, and specifically working for a nonprofit Native organization here in Portland, we use the relational worldview model as our theory of change, which focuses on balance in the 4 quadrants, that a holistic approach at looking at the way our lives are made up from mind, body, spirit, and social context. And as Native people, we operate many times from that spiritual quadrant, and we've done prayers down on the water, and I think that those prayers are very powerful. I think that our cultural traditions and values around our environmental resources and just our cultural values of respect and reciprocity lend to us being a good voice for guiding some of that cleanup work or deepening our ability to have a really, really meaningful relationship with that resource.
Mm-hmm. Yes, wonderful. Is there anything else that you would like to say about the river, the Canoe Journey Project, or any other thoughts that you have?
Well, I know the canoe, and I'm a Great Basin tribe, and so we traveled by canoe, but we didn't own a deep canoe culture like that is present here in the Northwest, and that culture is completely about being in relationship with the water and with our environmental resources and protocol and practices that are utilized during the canoe journey, which is just like many other ceremonies from originating within the Native community, that just because a trip might be done, or you might have just done a purification lodge, or one Sundance is over, as soon as that's done, you're in continuous preparation for the next time that happens. And so it's the way we walk our lives. And the protocol around Canoe Journey very much focuses on our waters as a natural resource and the sacred of those waters. And there's a lot of prayer and ceremony and protocol that not only respect and honor the water as a relative, but thinking about how we maximize that resource for our seventh generation. And so life is lived around the sacredness of that water, and I believe, as a Native American person, that there is value in viewing that resource from that perspective, and that as we continue to build capacity here in Portland as an urban canoe journey population, that we'll be able to instill those values to future generations, and perhaps they'll think more conscientiously or considerately about how we impact not only our water resources, but all of our environmental resources. I think that's a potential.
And are you including all cultures within, I mean, can we all learn the Native relationship to the water? Can we all learn that? Is that something you can teach the culture at large?
I think you can. I think that we're at a disadvantage because even though Native American history is American history, our institutions and learning avenues have not always highlighted Native American history, and so it's a matter of learning what you don't know. You don't know about Native culture unless you're exposed to it and you're taught the importance of this relational worldview in interrelating with our environment as a relative. But once you do, I think it's appealing. I think that global transformation will be based in indigenous perspectives, and so there's hope and opportunity.
Yes, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Donita. Grateful for this opportunity to talk with you. This interview is ending at 2:25.